The New Orleans Pelicans and the Big 870 WWL proudly presents Pelicans Weekly. It's a weekly radio magazine focused on the Pelicans, the fans, and the NBA. We'll get the latest from Pelicans players, coaches, and front office staff. Plus, we'll check in with our experts around the league. Tonight's show is brought to you by Smoothie King. Rule the day. Chevron, the human energy company. By Energy, we power life. And by New Age Products, official garage and outdoor kitchen provider of the New Orleans Pelicans. Pelicans Weekly on the Big 870 starts now. Here's your host, Gus Kattengell.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm Gus Kattengell, and welcome to Pelicans Weekly, where we will recap the week that was, look at the week that will be, and everything in between. Coming up next segment, the voice of the Pelicans, Todd Graffagnini, will sit down with assistant head coach James Borrego. Well, Snowmageddon, the snowpocalypse. Well, it came and went, but that Tuesday gave us a time to remember for the ages as the Crescent City was covered in snow. Great pictures, and then it left some ice, right? Well, because of that, it forced the postponement of the Bucks and Pelicans at the SKC. Now, earlier this afternoon, the NBA and the Pelicans did release some schedule changes. So that game against the Bucks will be made up on Sunday, April 6th at the Smoothie King Center. Scheduled tip-off will be for 7:30. To make some other adjustments, the Pelicans at the Bucks game will now be moved to Thursday, April 10th, 7 o'clock tip time there. That game was originally scheduled for Wednesday, April 9th. Also, another change, the Pelicans will host the Orlando Magic on Thursday, March 13th at 7 o'clock. The game was originally scheduled for Sunday, April 6th. So the Magic and Pels were going to play in April. Now they're playing in March. The Pels are going to play the Bucks last week. They're going to play in April twice, once there and once here. Got it? So it was off to the road for the Pelicans. Memphis, Charlotte, and Toronto, the three-game road trip. It started Friday at the Grizzlies. A 42-point second gave the Pels a 71-62 lead at the half. But a 43-point third quarter by Memphis, well, it changed things. Here's how it sounded on the Pelicans Radio Network with John DeShazer and Todd Graffagnini.
Three bodies, no sir, says Pippen. And then Hawkins re-picked it right back. Hawk drives in, reverse layup, good.
That's Jordan Hawkins basically taking up for Javonte Green right there. And really, that's the first tie of this game at 33.
Now Jackson powers in, reach in, Hawkins, strip, steal Jose. With JRE, up the floor, Hawkins, quick release, left wing three. Somebody's feeling it.
Oh, yes.
Somebody's feeling it.
Yeah, Hawk with a great job defensively on one end, and then he runs up and bangs in the three. It can be a little bit backbreaking.
So second Grizzly in double figures. It's easy.
On your head.
Just postered Zach Edey and one. My goodness gracious.
Eve says, Edey, eat it.
What a pass from McCollum, and Messi literally just went over the dome of Zach Edey.
That was spectacular.
Back to Kennard, left of the top three. Yep.
That's stealing.
83-83.
That's stealing. I mean, you got to be able to do the job.
And we throw the inbound away. Bean for the lead. Yep. 86-83. That is absolutely disastrous.
Well, the Pels can't get the ball inbound.
That's absolutely disastrous. Now Hawkins right corner, pop a tough three, air ball. Volleyball to Green to Trey. Trey, shot clock at 5. Trey didn't pull the trigger. Drives on Pippen, gets in, lefty floater, got it and one. He made the toughest shot possible after passing up two open looks, drove into the lane and drew the foul, and he finished with a left hand. As soon as he touches the ball, he's being hounded. Murphy got free, though, and look out below. He blew right by Jackson, and Luke Kennard made a business decision.
Absolutely. Luke Kennard looked around and said, you know what, I don't want my family to see me on the highlights tonight.
Jose to McCollum, spins and takes a left of the top three, which he buries. Are you serious?
Jalen Wells was in his hip pocket until that last split second.
Now Kennard, get it to Jackson, another three.
Well, they got a 7'4" guy making threes. They got a 6'10" guy making threes. What are you going to do? That's been kind of this game.
Yep. Tip your cap. Bain, head fake, drives, Euros, kick it right. Angle 3, Jackson no. Another rebound, Pippen. To Bain, lay it in good.
And that's been this game.
Time to get out of here.
They have simply, it's not just outshot the Pels, they have outworked them. And you reflect on that dive by Edey, the 7'4" guy, who's in a foot race with two smaller guys who are clearly faster, but he says, I want this ball more than you do, and he dove for it.
139-126 was your final. Head coach Willie Green on the loss.
I thought we started off the game, the first half, really good, solid on both ends, forcing them to take contested shots, non-paint contested twos, finishing possessions. And then the second half, totally different. They came out, they were the aggressors, and we just never could get back into a rhythm and settle the game down. I thought we did a good job of kind of weathering the storm to finish the third quarter going into the fourth. But, you know, defensively, they got into our paint. And defensively also, when we did get stops, they got extra possession. So things that we got to clean up.
A night later, it was on to Charlotte.
Z picks him up. Micic steps back, straightaway 3. Hey, hit another one. Why not? 31-23.
5 straight threes.
I'd say we haven't seen this before, but again, we saw it 24 hours ago.
Yeah.
Memphis made everything.
I mean, Taj Gibson. I mean, when Adam and Eve walked to the other end of the garden, Taj was down there like, what's up, y'all?
Don't forget to tip your server. John DeShazer is here all night long. What's up, Adam?
What up, y'all?
CJ, dump it down to Zion. Great entry pass. Zion with the seal of Nick Smith. He spins and slams. Ball deep, deep 3. Yep.
Yeah, you knew it was going to be a 2-for-1 as soon as he got it in his hands, because he was going to shoot from half court if he had to.
Out long to Murphy, right wing. Drives on Diabate down the lane. Lefty punch. Kick it up top, Trey. Deep straightaway 3. Short. Rebound E, back tapped it out. Hawkins saved it back to Murphy. Trey drives in. Kick it left corner. Jose for the catch and shoot 3. In the corner in front of our bench, and it's good.
Now that scrappiness is what you have to have if you're the Pelicans. You got to beat them to a few 50-50 balls.
Zion Williamson in the game, 26 minutes of action, and in that time frame, he had 28 points and 11 rebounds. That's a double-double. He also had a block, a steal, and 2 dimes.
It felt great, being back out there with the team. Even though I didn't play on the first end of the back-to-back, you could tell that we were overall sluggish, definitely to start the game off. There were times where we try to pick it up, but, Charlotte would always hit a timely 3. Just one of those nights for us.
Head coach Willie Green on Zion's performance.
He was good. He's attacking, he's getting downhill, getting to the basket. He did a great job rebounding, which is an area that we have to improve in. But just good to get him on the floor and hopefully he can continue to gain his rhythm. Now,
coach's thoughts on the loss.
We didn't play with any force. You got to play with force with teams that's going to switch like they were doing. The dominoes fall when you run into actions. You get the ball out of bounds quickly, you rebound, you get it up the floor quickly. You get to the paint, kick out, got to share the basketball. Just didn't do a great job of doing those concepts tonight.
All right, so one more chance to pick up a win on the road, and it was last night in Toronto, where the Pels are trying to find a way to get a win. They just couldn't find a way to get the ball in the bucket. Kind of need to do that.
Trey front court left, picked up by Grady Dick. And he'll take him off the dribble to the baseline and get in, and Pirtle just said, get out of here, Trey. I'm too tall. Block shot. Back the other way. Barrett, coast to coast, lay it in. And it's 12-7. So you get blocked at the rim, and it's a fast break the other way.
Yeah, their transition is something you have to be aware of at all times in every situation. And here they are taking advantage early.
Willie Green takes a timeout. 7. Tice, a little teardrop. Missed that from 2 feet. Followed up and in. Elevated Javonte Green off the glass.
Now his hand was probably about in the middle of the square on that tap in.
And Scotty Barnes is in for Barrett. McCollum pop a right angle 3, and that's good. Well, so CJ needed that one, and so did the team.
He basically shot that one before Abaji could close out.
20-14 Toronto. As badly as we've shot it, we're only down 6. Now Zion just took Scotty Barnes to school and scoops it in with a left hand.
Yeah, beamed him up on that one.
23-18, another three. Barnes, front iron, no good. Z with the fight for the rebound.
Z being fouled while he's fighting for the rebound.
Chest at front court to Hawkins, but they close out on him. Barnes on the switch.
Too late.
Z takes Barnes. And a reverse scooping layup off the top of the box with a left hand for Williamson.
And as poorly as the Pels have played in this game, and that is very poorly, it's the three-point game.
Drives in, threw it right to Trey Murphy. Murphy to the hard, cutting Javonte Green! A reverse right hand punch, my goodness gracious!
Consequences and repercussions.
Trey deep, left wing, online, and rinsed!
Kenneth Murphy III.
Right in front of Mama.
Trey Bien.
And you lead by one. First lead since 5-4. Zion hard into the lane. Got fouled by Pirtle. No call.
Got fouled. Got his shoe stepped on. Shoe comes off.
And then
Willie Green picks up a technical foul because Willie Green has seen enough. And Willie Green is gone.
Yep. Zion got stepped on. His shoe came off. Nothing doing. Willie Green just got ejected.
And Willie Green basically being held back. Physically restrained.
Yeah. Physically restrained.
Physically restrained by his assistants and security.
113-104 was the final. Zion Williamson in 27 minutes. This time around had 31 points to go with 7 rebounds. Coach Willie Green on Zion.
He's one of the toughest players in the NBA to guard when he's going downhill like that. And he's one of our guys that can get to the paint, get to the rim, and finish and find his teammates for kickouts. We just got to make some of those shots.
Head coach Willie Green on the loss.
We got some quality looks. We just didn't knock them down. And sometimes that happens. But I'm extremely proud of the guys, their effort. We competed at a high level. We're right there in fourth quarter. They go on a run, and hard for us to get back into the game. So you got to make some of those shots. Got to finish some of those possessions. They got some key, timely offensive rebounds, some of the same things that we've been talking about, but the guys fought.
So after 4 straight wins, 3 straight losses, head coach Willie Green's message to the squad.
Keep encouraging them to play the right way, starting with our defense. Make sure we try, keep these guys out of the paint, force them to shoot contested shots. Make sure we're finishing possessions. Now we want to play fast when we get stops and steals. We were getting some quality looks. We guys didn't knock them down, so continue to search for those quality looks for yourself and your teammates.
Coming up next, voice of the Pelicans, Todd Graffagnini, will sit down with assistant head coach James Borrego. You're listening to Pelicans Weekly on WWL.
Welcome back to Pelicans Weekly. Here's the voice of the New Orleans Pelicans, Todd Graffagnini, with this week's interview.
Welcome back to Pelicans Weekly. Todd Graffagnini with you in a special North of the Border interview tonight with Associate Head Coach James Borrego. First of all, Coach, thanks for joining us on the show. And, we're getting into late January here, and this is when you really start talking about the dog days of the NBA season. The All-Star break is in sight, but you got all these games in January, back-to-backs, late mornings, or late nights, early mornings. So this is when you really got to power through things, huh?
You got to power through it. This is, as you said, dog days. You got to fight through it, but you still want to learn and grow. These are meaningful minutes right here. I think all players right now can see the end in sight as far as that first half of the season. So you want to finish strong right here. When a lot of teams are, taking their foot off the gas, you got to put it down, especially for young guys. These are great minutes to learn from, grow from, and it's a great challenge for our guys mentally right now. But dog days, as you said, it's part of the NBA, but there's still a lot of room for growth here.
It's been a challenging season, to say the least, but it's been fun to watch your team in January. It just kind of flipped the switch a little bit. And I know a lot of it has to do with your guys coming back, but just to see the offense clicking the way that we had envisioned it when we left Nashville, that had to have been really rewarding for you because it had been a struggle.
Yeah, as you said, it's been a struggle this year, and obviously injuries have played a major part of that. But, to see our offense grow and, come together, obviously we still have a lot of room for growth here, but to get some of the main guys back and to see CJ's growth, and watch him grow and develop, getting DJ back. I think Jose's had an impact on our team. Trey Murphy, his growth offensively, and then obviously you get Zion back, things tend to click a little bit better. So we're on the upward swing there as far as offense. I love our pace right now. We're one of the top teams as far as pace. When you look at the last month, our three-point volume is up, our attack in the paint, offensive rebounds have been there all year. So you're starting to see what we envisioned for this team, to start the year. And now it's just about putting it together. Whatever's left of the season, we got to go to work and get better. And I think, these guys understand how we're trying to play. Now we got to do it every night.
How fun has it been to watch Trey pretty much grow into the type of player he has become right before our eyes? Look, we knew what he could do prior to this, but he has really stepped up, not just scoring the basketball, but in all other aspects. And I think maybe for you, just watching him develop, his ability now to get to the free throw line is something we really haven't seen.
It's massive. I think we all thought of him just as a deep three-point shooter, high volume three-point shooter. He's elite there, but I think when you've seen his growth at the rim right now, and it's only been a couple weeks that we've seen this, but you've seen his growth every single night. His ability to get downhill, touch the paint, get to the rim, draw free throws, kick out for threes, become a playmaker. I see a playmaker out there that's creating for his team. He's at the rim. It's just tremendous. Where his upside is, none of us know. He's got a high, massive ceiling that he can get to. And my guess is that Trey Murphy is going to max out because he puts the work in. He has great habits. He cares. In the off season, in season, he's doing the right things. He's got great habits. So where he goes, none of us know, but I'm really proud of his growth offensively. He's taking the challenge on defensively as well, but really exciting to see him, develop right before our eyes.
We really didn't know how much we were going to miss DeJounte Murray until he came back. I don't think it could be overstated how much he would have meant to this team in the first month and a half of the season. But you've been around him every day, and you've seen him now not only on the court, but been around him. What kind of person has he been?
Well, he's a wonderful leader. He's been around winning. He knows what that looks like. He's competitive. He cares. The number one thing he always says to me, it's all about winning, and he's learned that at an early age. When I had him with the Spurs, he was just a baby, back then. Didn't get a lot of playing time, but learned watching the greats do it, and he's carried over to our team. As you said, we don't know what the season would have been had we had him early on. We would have sustained even Zion being out, for a stretch there. But his leadership as a point guard, as a competitor, as a leader for us is tremendous. He's always talking to the young guys, believing in these young guys. He just instills a lot of confidence in our group overall, and that's what you need, out of that position.
Finally, Coach, before the Dallas game on Wednesday, Yves Missi is going to be recognized to the Smoothie King Center crowd as being the Western Conference Rookie of the Month in December. Would you ever have imagined that, even going back to training camp? What an incredible accomplishment for this young man who still is very, very raw in basketball.
Boy, number one, give him a ton of credit. Give our front office a ton of credit. I didn't see it early on. Even in training camp, I didn't see it. He had one practice in training camp that, he took our breath away for a second on a dunk, and you knew there was something there. But to have this type of impact on our team this early in his career, it feels like he just started playing basketball. Even when you talk to his college coaches, it feels like he was just playing his first college game over a year ago, maybe just over a year ago. So to watch him grow now, as you said, the dog days, you got to fight through it as a rookie, but to see his impact on our team has been tremendous. His ability to attack the rim, play at the rim, offensive rebound, protect the paint, offensive rebound, defensive rebound, and do it with such poise as a young guy is just a tremendous asset for us moving forward.
Coach, great stuff, and let's continue the grind and let's get some W's, man.
Let's do it. Thank you.
All right, that's Pelicans Associate Head Coach James Borrego. We'll send it back to Gus Kattengell in the studio as we wrap up Pelicans Weekly on WWL.
Get down, baby. Pels fans, be sure to catch the New Orleans Pelicans podcast, dropped every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now back to Pelicans Weekly and our host, Gus Kattengell.
Our thanks to Todd Graffagnini and assistant head coach James Borrego. If you've missed any part of that interview, just go to Pelicans.com and search for Pelicans Weekly. Each week, we put the episode up there on the website so you can listen to it at your leisure. Now, the Pelicans will have 3 games under their belts by the next time we meet. Tomorrow night, it's the first of 2 straight at the Smoothie King Center. They will host the Dallas Mavericks, and remember how that went the last time they played. Goaltend or a block. Well, it was a block, of course, since the Pelicans won. Friday, the Boston Celtics are in town. Both games are set for 7 o'clock tip times. Then on Monday, the Pelicans will start their Super Bowl road trip. It begins at Denver. Then they will face the Nuggets again on Wednesday before playing at Sacramento on Saturday and OKC on Monday the 10th as we look a little further ahead. For Todd Graffagnini, I'm Gus Kattengell. We hope you've enjoyed this week's episode. We'll see you next week for Pelicans Weekly right here on WWL.
Pelicans Weekly was brought to you by Smoothie King. Rule the day. Ochsner Health System, the official healthcare provider of the New Orleans Pelicans. Keesler Federal Credit Union, official credit union of the New Orleans Pelicans. SeatGeek, get your seat in a seat. And Morris Bart, if you know, you know. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week on Pelicans Weekly, right here on WWL. Let's go, Pels!